Yes.
So there were kids in there?
Yes.
Not all heroes wear capes, some wear reflective vests. And I don't know about you, I say we need fewer ICE agents and more ice cream crossing guards. Am I right? So, tonight, all right, we got one, we got two, we got four, we got a bunch here. This is the special week of the year, every year when we honor the men and women who taught us about iambic pentameter and quadratic equations, things that we forgot almost immediately upon leaving school. Do you remember those things, Guillermo?
No, not all, Jimmy,
No.
nothing.
But it is important, I think, that we pay tribute to Vape Pens. He's definitely been in Florida too long. And with that said, we have another nugget from our friends in the Sunshine State who've gifted us with yet another edition of This Week in Florida.
This is the park deputies found Stanley Pascal after his reported mailbox punching spree. He also was disrupting traffic by pulling his pants.
I wonder which will open first, the Strait of Hormuz or his ballroom, but this is how he does it. For him, a negotiation, it's like sex. He's bad at it. It mostly consists of flailing around, and he can only do it for a short amount of time before he starts yelling that he's finished. This continues. Don't worry, though. According to Trump's money muppet, Kevin Hassett, the fact that everything costs more means things are going great.
The consumer is really firing on all cylinders, just like the corporate sector you're seeing in the earnings reports. And they're doing that because they have so much more money in their pockets. In fact, I had the head of one of the big 5 banks in my office yesterday going through the credit card data.
Them laugh. I really feel like I brought those two back together. I really do. I'm getting no credit for it. And by the way, for fans of the president who are looking to put their moms and America first on Sunday, have we got a brunch up for you?
Your mom deserves a great Mother's Day meal.
Early frontrunner for local news clip of the year.
That stolen work truck overturned on its side on the playground. We spoke also to a crossing guard who was just steps away when all this happened. He says he rushed to get a child out of the playground.
And I tell you, he ran the light, T-boned the lady. I'm bobbing and weaving. I'm just thankful.
You should read the book. To keep the pressure on, he made another threat today. He said if they don't agree, the bombing starts, and it will be sadly at a much higher level and intensity than it was before. Thank you for your attention to this matter. His list of threats is now longer than Kash Patel's bar tab. I wonder which will open first, the Strait of Hormuz or his...
This is the park deputies found Stanley Pascal after his reported mailbox punching spree. He also was disrupting traffic by pulling his pants down and showing his genitals.
I like it when a reporter gets sexy, you know? The state of Florida never stops giving, no matter how many times we ask.
Jet ski. What in the world is going on?
It's a dog and a jet ski. It's the Florida state bird. Hey, we got a big show for tonight. Mike Tyson is with us tonight. We have music from the Avett Brothers and Mike Patton, and we'll be right back with Steve Carell. Melania couldn't keep a straight face.
Most know my husband as the strong commander-in-chief, but his empathy transcends the role and shape a caring leader.
We finally got to see what makes them laugh. I really feel like
No, what's her name, nephew? Yes.
So there were kids in there?
Yes.
Not all heroes wear capes, some wear reflective vests. And I don't know about you, I say we need fewer ICE agents and more ice cream crossing guards. Am I right? So, crossing guards who hold those stop signs up high so our children can safely cross the street. And in particular, this gentleman from Philadelphia who saved a child from the wreckage of a car accident and as a result is an early frontrunner for local news clip of the year.
That stolen work truck overturned on its side on the playground. We spoke also to a crossing guard.
Lutnick claimed he hadn't seen Epstein since 2005 when he and his wife were at his house and they saw a massage table in the middle of the room and got creeped out. Lutnick said, "I will never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again." And then it turned out not only did he see Epstein again in 2012, he brought his family and nannies for lunch on the island. So when the Commerce said... Not all heroes wear capes, some wear reflective vests. And I don't know about you, I say we need fewer ICE agents and more ice cream crossing guards. Am I right? So, I don't know if you heard, but they closed the Strait of Hormuz. Do you know this? And with all this going on, poor Marco Rubio tomorrow has to go to the Vatican to make nice with the Pope. Marco Rubio plans to sit down with Pope Leo to discuss the attacks from our president, the war on Iran, and on a personal level, why God didn't answer his prayers for smaller ears. According to the U.S. ambassador to the Vatican, Rubio expects to have a Frank meal Obama made that Trump called the worst deal in history. And now he's going to top it by making an even worse deal in history. It's called The Art of the Deal, folks. You should read the book.
Trump brought children into the Oval Office and spent an hour telling them the election was rigged, while simultaneously he won 87% of countries and everything you can win. Both cannot be true. He invented the word civilization on camera, told a child who plays football he will never compete against women in powerlifting, said he ended 8 wars including the war between India and Pakistan, which is not a war that exists, said a Nobel Prize committee member named Maria told him he deserved it more than she did. Maria does not appear in any Nobel committee report. These statements were made to children, on camera and in the Oval Office. The cognitive decline argument has moved past the talk point stage. It is now documentation. The ballroom started at $200 million, private donors only. No taxpayer money, by the way. That was the promise made publicly multiple times. It is now $1 billion, and Republicans just pushed a bill to make America public pay the people who cannot afford groceries because of a war nobody voted for are now being asked to fund a party room for a man whose family net worth has increased by $3 billion since he took the office. 28% of Americans supported this project for they knew they were paying. That number will not go up. Iran has attacked US and its allies 10 times since the ceasefire began. Pentagon was asked about kamikaze dolphins and Oval Office pre-press briefing and responded that he could neither confirm nor deny their existence. Week 10 of a war that was supposed to last 4 to 5 weeks, $50 billion spent, the Strait still contested, no deal, no exit, and the president is billing public $1 billion for a ballroom and telling children he won a Nobel Prize from a lady named Maria. The gap between the performance and the reality has never been wider or more dangerous. And this is all happening in front of our eyes. And he's not even saying anything logical. And I know that you, my elders, have been watching this country longer than me, and you may have seen worse, or I don't know, but I really do care about your thoughts on it.
Thanks to Trump's war with Iran, this year, gasoline is expected to cost the average household $740 more. Let's see, hold on, let's see, 740. Got that. That's $8. That's $8. So, congratulations, everybody. $8 doesn't sound like much, but may I remind you, that'll get you 8 lotto tickets, which also happens to be Trump's healthcare plan.
$740 more per household this year. That number is not abstract. That is a car payment. That is 3 months of groceries for a family of 4. That is the difference between making rent and not making rent for millions of Americans. The administration that promised to lower costs has engineered a situation where the average family is paying $740 more just to drive to work. And the war that caused it has no exit date, no defined objective, and no plan.
Consumer confidence is at the lowest level ever recorded. Now, that may sound bad, but that's only because it's never been worse. Ooh, there's more tough news to chew on. Beef is getting harder for Americans to afford.
Lowest consumer confidence ever recorded. Not since 2008, not since the Great Depression, ever. In the entire history of measuring, there's a specific psychological phenomenon where people absorb so much uncertainty that they stop making plans, stop investing, stop spending, stop believing things will improve. That is what the data is measuring right now. Not just fear of today. Fear that tomorrow will be worse. That feeling, once it sets in this scale, doesn't reverse quickly.
Beef isn't the only American tradition affected by inflation these days, because it was just announced that 7-Eleven will close 645 U.S. stores this year. 7-Eleven. Never forget.
7-Eleven closing 600 more stores, beef becoming unaffordable for American people who's barely paying their bills, their rents, and everything else. And these are not luxury items being priced out. These are the basic markers of working class American life being systematically dismantled. When the convenience store and the affordable protein disappear from the same neighborhood in the same year because of the same war nobody voted for, something has shifted that is very difficult to revert. The people this hits hardest are the exact people who were promised their lives would get cheaper.
As I said, this inflation is being caused by the war, but it's really not that bad, according to Trump's director of the National Economic Council and Jolly Skin Tag, Kevin Hassett.
The director of the National Economic Council went on television and said inflation is really not that bad. This is the psychological defense mechanism of someone who has spent so long inside a system that rewards telling powerful what they want to hear, that they have lost the ability to perceive reality as it exists for everyone else.
Hassett went on the CNBC yesterday to explain what might bring prices down.
Imagine if oil prices start going back down because the situation resolves itself somehow, then you could be looking at an inflation close to zero.
The economic plan is imagine if the situation resolves itself somehow. Imagine if oil prices go back down, blah, blah, blah. That is the actual stated position of people running the largest economy on earth. No mechanism, no timeline, no policy, just imagination.
Yes, the situation might resolve itself somehow. Until then, all America has to do is use their imagination. Imagine. My friends, imagine a car made of licorice somehow. And it somehow runs on dreams, and somehow your best friend is a musical dog, and Kevin Hassett isn't an idiot, somehow.
Just because it looks like we're going to the wrong direction doesn't mean that's the direction we're going. That sentence was said out loud by a senior economic official on television to adults, to you. There's a name for the cognitive pattern of insisting reality is the opposite of what is observable. It is not a communication strategy. It is not a spin. At a certain point, it becomes something more concerning than dishonest, because dishonesty requires knowing the truth. This may not.
This is Energy Secretary Chris Wright.
Just because it looks like we're going the wrong direction does not mean that's the direction we're going.
Yeah. There you go.
They have a video of America is headed, and it is not actually headed that way. The gap between the performance of the confidence and actual data has never been wider. Consumer confidence at historic lows, gas up 6 cents, $740 per household, 600 stores closing. And the official position is that video showing direction is not actually showing the direction. At some point, the audience stops believing the narrative, right? The point has already passed for most Americans. Polls confirm the elections are confirming it, and the data is confirming it every single week. I need you, my elders, my channel, to support me, because I know that you have been watching this country more than me, and your thoughts are really important. So please do subscribe to my channel, like video, and comment down below. Thank you so much.
Yes, well said. Well said. And is this true? I'm told we actually have video of where America's headed.
This is not the direction I'm going!
Not actually headed that way, though. It's not.
Do you think he pretends to be dumber than he is to confuse people and make them think? No, you think he's...
No. I don't think so. It's so obvious. I just don't understand. People could buy it. He is a malignant narcissist. This guy is going to try. Things are going to happen that we don't know yet about. He'll try anything. It's just what it is, who he is. So we have to be prepared for to go with whatever comes our way. So I was happy that it's strong, and I hope it's even stronger. I don't even like to use the word hope. It will be stronger until, because it is, like you said, 7 months away. In terms of a lot can happen.
Yeah. Now, you've always been politically active, using your stature in pop culture and Hollywood to amplify issues that are important to you. We've worked together extensively in past for civil rights fights, along with National Action Network and awarding you. But can you speak why you've been so involved, especially now, rejecting the notion that celebrities should simply just shut up and stick to their arts? What has motivated you not to do that?
I don't have a voice. I can't say anything. And if my voice can make a difference with people and influence people, and because I know it's going to be for the right reason, then why shouldn't I say something? I mean, when you like that, what's her name from Fox? I said to LeBron James or somebody, one of the basketball players, to shut up and dribble or something. It was so insulting. You're damn right I'm going to say something, and I have the right to say something. And other people should say something, because it does make a difference. If I see somebody who I like or respect, or even I'm not sure about, if they speak up, I respect them, especially if they're speaking up for the right things, for the right reasons. And it does make a difference. And I was talking about Jason Crow, who I saw when they did that thing with he and Mark Kelly and so on. And he said, you know, courage is infectious. And I thought that's a good thing. You know, and this guy has seen, you know, he's been in three tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, the way I understand it. And it's true, because it can work the other way, if everybody's negative and they feel defeated, deflated. At the same time, if you stand up and do what you know you should do, it works the other way. People can feel courageous, feel good, know they're doing the right thing. There's a threat there, there's a chance, but you have to take that chance, because how could you live with yourself if you know that this country is going to go down? And that's where we are now.
Now, President.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to share this event with so many committed people here in this room and out in the streets. And I'm proud to stand with Indivisible and all the organizations promoting No Kings. The concept of No Kings is a great rallying cry, and hugely successful as millions of us have answered the call. I support this movement 150%. Yeah. But when the crowds are chanting No Kings, what I'm really hearing, as we all know, is no Trump.
That's right.
There have been other presidents who have tested the constitutional limits of their power, but none have been such an existential threat to our freedoms and security. None, except Trump. He must be stopped, and he must be stopped now.
Amen.
It's time to say no to kings. It's time to say no to Donald Trump. We've had enough. No King Trump. No unnecessary wars that rob our resources, sacrifice our brave servicemen and women, and slaughter innocents. No corrupt leader enriching himself and the Epstein-class buddies. No taking away health care from our most vulnerable neighbors. No unaffordable groceries. No unaffordable energy. No unaffordable housing. And no inflation at its highest level since COVID. No government masked thugs shooting down our neighbors in the streets. Trump has to be stopped. And that's what No Kings is. They're bound to him by fear of losing their own jobs, their own power. It's diabolical. How can this be happening? Look at the power of the No Kings national uprising. Look at the power of the No Kings national uprising. Afraid of Trump? Please. No, they should be more afraid of us.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Because we still believe in the core American values of justice, equality, decency, and kindness. Because we're going from the streets to the ballot box, and because we all deserve a country with no kings, no Trump. Thank you.
Americans have turned out all over the country in over 3,000 locations. In my capacity as president of the National Action Network, I participated in No Kings here in New York with my friend, one of the extraordinary actors of all time, Oscar winner, and an activist, Robert De Niro, who spoke alongside with me and others at a press conference kicking off the event in New York today. And he's been kind enough to join me on set, actor and director Robert De Niro. Robert, this is the third No Kings rally that's been organized since Trump's second term. Each protest in the past breaking turnout in record numbers. You out there today, here in New York, on the front lines. What was it like today, and how did it compare to the last two protests?
Well, I wasn't at the last two, but I was aware of them, watching them and so on, and they were impressive, but I knew that they had to be much larger, that people have to really come out, and so far that's been happening. They have to come out as much as they can, because there's whatever.
3,000 locations across the entire country on the same day. That is not a spontaneous protest. That is an organized political movement with real infrastructure and real momentum. And I want to put some numbers around what that momentum actually looks like right now, because I think people are not fully grasping the scale of what is happening. Since Trump's second term began, Democrats have flipped 29 legislative seats. Republicans have flipped 0, not 1. His approval rating is currently 18 points underwater, according to Fox News. His handling of the Iran is negative 28 points overall. Among independent voters, the people who actually decide elections, it is negative 58 points, 58. And a Democrat just won the special election in his literal home district, the district where Mar-a-Lago sits. It district Trump won by 11 points less than 2 years ago. These are not feelings, these are data points. And every single of them is pointing in the same direction. De Niro said something about the Epstein files situation that I think the most honest public assessment has anyone offered. He called it Wag the dog on steroids. And when you look at the sequence of events, that description is hard to argue with. Trump's name appears nearly 5,000 times in Epstein documents. The investigation into his New Mexico ranch was widely shut down in 2019 while he was president. Pam Bondi was summoned to testify under oath and she rejected it. Then a war started, and now Epstein files completely vanished from the news. People are not talking about it, but we do. We have to. This strategy worked perfectly, and De Niro knows this, so he's talking about it. And there is what Bernie and De Niro said about speaking up. De Niro pushed back directly on the idea that celebrities should stay out of politics, and his argument is simple. If my voice can make a difference for the right reasons, why wouldn't I use it? Exactly. I'm giving all my respects to him. Big legend. And he's right, because the people telling celebrities to shut up are the exact people who had no problem with Trump spent 30 years as a celebrity building political brand on television. That rule only ever applied in one direction. Bernie said that they were afraid of us, not as a threat, as a mathematical statement. Because when millions of people show up in the 3,000 locations on a Saturday, 7 months before a midterm election, it means the energy that wins elections is already on the streets. It just needs to get to the ballot box. Courage is infectious. That is what I think, to be honest. And you elderly people knows this better. You live more than us. You know, you've seen more than us. You've seen all the presidents in 50, 60 years. You know what is happening, what could happen. And most of the people around me, than older me, are saying that they've never seen something like this before. And it's just disgusting. Your voice matters than you think. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I'd be really appreciated if you do. I'm trying my best to do a video every day, maybe 2. We need every single person paying attention. Thank you so much.
The war in Iran reached day 69. Nice. And terrible. As of this taping, we still don't know how Iran's response to Trump's one-page peace offer will be, but we do know the White House is desperate for a deal before the midterms. In a recent poll, neighbors Subaru. Yeah. Oh, how often I've sucked a Subaru. Businesses are also being hurt. Today, we got a warning that continued supply chain disruptions could push costs higher from the CEO of McDonald's. Man did not work hard enough for peace, he could lose his 10-piece. So folks are feeling the pain, but there's a bright side. According to Trump economic advisor and guy the neighbors said was always so quiet and kept to himself, Kevin Hassett. Hassett went on the
banks in my office yesterday going through the credit card data, and just as Secretary Bessent said, credit card spending is through the roof.
Yes, things are great. Credit card spending is through the roof. Bottle collection has become very popular. Sales of scratchers have skyrocketed, and there's never been a better time to start a career as a bus station jig. House event celebrating Mother's Day, Trump trotted out a new euphemism.
We're in a, I call it a skirmish, because that's what it is. It's a skirmish.
Yeah, it's just a little skirmish. No big deal. America gets in lots of fights with cute names. In fact, my uncle never came home.
And by sea, by ocean, by the water, you know, a lot of people say, what do you mean by sea? Is it sea, like vision? No, it's sea, S-E-A.
Okay. I guess it is good to always be clear about what you mean. That's why Paul Revere famously said, one if by land, two if... Oh, it's here like H-E-R-E, and I died. Not D-Y-E-D, but D-I-E-D. Did that come across? Go fast. Okay. All right. One guy who is making Trump mad these days is Pope Leo over relations with the Vatican by sending Secretary of State and non-player character in a video game about celibacy, Marco Rubio. According to the two sides, the meeting went okay, and they exchanged gifts. Pope Leo gave Rubio a pen made out of olive wood, with Pope Leo saying olive being, of course, the plant of peace. I smell re-gift. Pope, they got it with their Sports Illustrated. It came with their Sports Illustrated subscription. Yeah. Pope Leo, he likes to have fun. He's a fun pope, and that goes for the people around him. For instance, the other day...
Iran fired on 3 American warships tonight. We fired back. The ceasefire that Trump declared and complete victory lasted less than 48 hours. Operation Trust Me, Bro failed. That is the official statement from the Iranian parliament, and the White House response was to call it a love tap. 3 American warships were fired on in an active military conflict, and the president characterized it as a love tap because he has already declared victory and cannot walk that back without admitting he was wrong. So the war continues and the vocabulary shrinks. War, military operation, military conflict, mini-war, skirmish, excursion. The words keep getting smaller as body count and the bill keep getting larger. Kesh Patel is suing The Atlantic for $250 million for reporting that he drinks too much. Then The Atlantic published a second story reporting that he hands out personalized whiskey bottles as gifts to colleagues. The FBI has zero tolerance policy on alcohol misuse. Patel's response to being investigated for drinking was to order 24 members of his own staff to take polygraph tests to find out who reported him. The director of FBI is in panic mode, trying to find out who told the truth about him. That is the state of American law enforcement right now. And the Epstein files are still buried. Fox News went on air and told viewers to get over themselves and move on. The war or skirmish or excursion or love tap, whatever it is being called this week, has successfully kept those files off the front page for 10 weeks. Howard Lutnick testified for 4 hours and remembered nothing despite his name appearing 240 times in the documents. Commerce Secretary brought his children to Island and cannot explain why. The Attorney General refuses to release the files and Fox News says, get over it. The narrative in this week is that the Iran conflict was not as bad as the Civil War. That is what winning looks like in week 10. And we, as taxpayers, are giving everything and saving up money to pay taxes, to buy stuff for our children, our loved one, and they're just spending our money to a nonsense war. I said they, but I'm sorry, he is doing it actually. And there's no one else around him to tell him that he's doing something wrong. Sorry for saying something again. Everything wrong, because they're too scared to tell him. And we're living the results of his actions.
Pope Leo today said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, and woe to those who manipulate religion in the very name of God for their own military, economic, and political gain, dragging that which is sacred into darkness and filth. The world is being ravaged by a handful of tyrants." I wonder who he's talking about there.
Pope did not say Trump's name. He didn't need to. There's a specific kind of accusation that lands harder without a name attached because it forces the accused either ignore or claim. Trump claimed it by responding. We all know that can't keep his mouth shut. And in responding, confirmed exactly who the Pope talking about.
He had to do a lot of tap dancing when the press got hold of him today.
I have nothing against the Pope. His brother's MAGA all the way. I like his brother, Louis. I'm not fighting with him. I know the Pope's brother. He is a big MAGA person. He's got MAGA all over his house. His name is Louis. The Pope, you know, I know his brother.
I love when he talks about the Pope's brother, like that means anything at all.
I'm not fighting with him. His brother is mega all the way. That is the response to being called out by the leader of 1.4 billion Catholics for manipulating religion for military again. Find a family member who voted correctly and use that as a shield. The deflection is so transparent, it functions as a confession. A man with nothing to hide doesn't do it to the brother.
Raccoon penis, also J.D. Vance's Secret Service code name. Of course, I did some research. Raccoons do actually have unusual peni. This is called a baculum. It is a J-shaped bone found in there. RFK wanted to collect and study as many of these as he could in the hope that he could someday stop his own monstrous boners from chasing every woman he meets.
And also, why is he talking about brother? Literally crazy. J.D. Vance's Secret Service name, code name actually, is reportedly Raccoon, the same man who is currently America's primary diplomatic representative in the Iran ceasefire negotiation. The man Iran specifically requested as their preferred negotiating partner over Jared Kushner. That is the diplomatic apparatus of most powerful country on earth right now.
Somehow TMZ caught up with RFK today to ask him a question that needed to be asked.
Secretary, what did you do with the raccoon's dead penis? Where is it now?
It's in heaven now.
RFK Jr. collected raccoon bone, hoping to stop his own compulsive behavior toward women. That is the man who was confirmed as Secretary of Health and Human Services and is currently overseeing the health decisions of 330 million Americans.
Kennedy appeared before the House Ways and Means Committee to defend budget cuts of the Trump administration.
The average American has a teaspoonful of microplastics in his brain. Almost 1% of brain volume is now microplastics. That couldn't be a good...
His brain, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised to find a whole set of Tupperware in that brain of his, but...
TMZ asked the Secretary of Health and Human Services what he did with the raccoon bone. Actually, you know what he's talking about. He answered. The question is why is not why TMZ asked. The question is why the answer was necessary.
It was just the tip of the iceberg. Listen to this question and his response to it.
You said every black kid is now just standardly put on Adderall, SSRI.
I doubt that I said that, Frank. No,
absolutely.
I'm not going to answer something that I didn't say.
You absolutely said it.
Wow, you know, if only there was some way for someone to get their hands on that recording.
1% of the average American brain is now microplastic, and the man responsible for addressing is collected animal bones for personal reasons and cannot remember statements he made on tape. The agency man protect public health is being run by someone whose own health issue raises more questions than the microplastics do.
Pediatric drugs, which every black kid is now just standard put on Adderall, SSRIs, benzos, which are known to induce violence.
He did say it. Think about how crazy you have to be to say something like that, and then not only do you have no recollection of it, you think it sounds nuts and makes no sense.
He said it. He literally said it on tape, and he can't even remember about it. And he's questioning it like it's a fucking stupid thing. And it is. The recording exists. Pattern of saying something inflammatory, denying it, then attacking person who has the receipt is not a communication strategy at all. Please do subscribe to my channel, like the video, and comment down below. Thanks so much.
We have a fight between the president and the Pope. The world has become a real-life episode of South Park.
I don't think he's doing a very good job. He likes crime, I guess.
What does Pope have to do with crime? He's not Batman, he's the Pope.
The Pope. He went after the Pope. On a Sunday, during a war, the leader of the free world sat down at his phone and decided the most urgent issue facing humanity was that the Catholic Church made the wrong call. Sells Bibles? Never read one.
This is what happens when you sell Bibles instead of reading them. And then... Oh, but wait. Less than an hour after that, he posts an AI-generated image of himself as Jesus. Now...
The person being healed looked exactly like Jeffrey Epstein. His own AI could not separate these two. The post threatening to obliterate an entire civilization is still alive. The Jesus post is gone. That is the hierarchy of what actually frightens this man.
This is an absolutely bananas thing for anyone to post, let alone the president. But let's go through it because maybe we're missing something here. Okay, the first problem I see is his hands are normal size. So that's not realistic. Okay. Weirdest detail, the man Donald Jesus Trump is healing looks a whole lot like Jeffrey Epstein.
1.4 billion Catholics, the largest religious institution on earth, and their leader had to go on camera to clarify that the gospel is not a political weapon. Had to say it out loud in public because the situation required it. That clarification has never been necessary in 2,000 years of Christianity until this specific weekend.
Even AI can't keep him from his BF Jeff. Now, this little detour into Messiah status did not get Trump the reaction he was hoping for from the Christian community. Overall, they're not on board with the whole false idols thing, and a lot of people were upset, so Trump or his team deleted the post.
A doctor in a robe, well, with fighter jets overhead and the Epstein on the healing table. The most powerful man on earth looked at that image and decided to cover his story with it was just a Red Cross worker.
To respond to the president's attack.
I do not look at my role as being political or politician. I don't want to get into a debate with him. I don't think that the message of the gospel is meant to be abused in the way that some people are doing. And I will continue to speak out loudly.
Drives food around at night so her husband cancer treatment does not bankrupt them. Brought to the White House is a proof the system is working. Did not realize she was proof the system is broken. Nobody in that room noticed the difference. Or they noticed and brought her anyway.
As far as I'm concerned, there's only one way to settle this, and that is on June 14th, the Pope versus the President in the octagon on the White House lawn. That card could use some star power. Why not?
Pulled a $100 bill out of his suit like a birthday magician at a 6-year-old party. 2 weeks ago, the message was clear. Open it. Now, the message is close it. The straight hasn't moved. He really doesn't know what he's doing, and this is just stupid for a president of our country.
The reporters brought up the Jesus picture, and this is why, on top of being reckless and a liar, and just ridiculous in general, Trump is also a coward.
Mr. President, did you post that picture of yourself depicted as Jesus Christ?
Well, it wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as the doctor.
Regardless what happens, we win. Say it enough times. Clap loudly enough. Maybe the 13 dead Americans would come back. Maybe the $1 billion a day stops. Maybe the closed shipping lane reopened. But you don't care about any of this.
Not Jesus. He's a doctor in a robe. It was our mistake. Let's look at that picture again, if we could. Oh, yeah, there you go. Now it's a doctor. It's Dr. Jesus is what it is. I don't know which is more offensive, how dumb he is or how dumb he thinks we are, but...
These talks collapsing in Pakistan in real time, and the man who started the war is in Miami telling a sweaty fighter he was too beautiful for violence and offering him a shower on a government plane. That actually happened.
Poor DoorDash grandma, who, by the way, delivers for DoorDash so she can afford to pay for her husband's cancer treatment, which should be covered by some kind of health insurance, was asked maybe the most important question of the day.
Grandson in the cart, soldiers in Iran, peace talks in room. Stopped for a woman on a golf course, said she was in great shape 3 times. Left child alone, goes squeeze her. The Secret Service watched. Cameras watched. If you'd like me to do more videos, please do subscribe to my channel, because I know that you, our elders, know all these better than me, and I need your thoughts. So please comment down below and like the video. Thank you so much.